Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, is a city where tradition lingers in the cool early morning mist, and the clatter of scooters harmonizes with the aromas of sizzling grills. At its heart lies a culinary culture steeped in history, a legacy of dynasties, foreign influence, and the indomitable creativity of home cooks and street vendors alike. The cuisine of Hanoi is a symphony of fresh ingredients, intricate broths, and a precise balance of tastes: salty, sweet, sour, spicy, delicate yet deeply satisfying. To savor Hanoi's iconic dishes is to taste centuries of tradition gently modernized but never forgotten. At the center of this culinary universe stands pho, the dish that has come to define Vietnam in kitchens and restaurants across the globe. But pho, in its truest form, is a creation of Hanoi. Pho bo, or beef noodle soup, is more than a meal. It is a morning ritual, a comfort on cool days, and the pride of Hanoians everywhere. Imagine the first sip, steam rising from a wide porcelain bowl filled with unctuous crystal-clear broth, patiently simmered with beef bones, star anise, cinnamon, roasted shallots, and ginger. Slippery strands of rice noodles nestle in the depths, awaiting the arrival of thinly sliced raw beef, which cooks delicately in the searing broth. Spring onions, cilantro, and a flourish of black pepper add a vibrant freshness. Pho was not always an international sensation. Its origins trace back to the early 20th century, during the French colonial era, when resourceful vendors began to adapt the French pot-au-feu to local palates. Street stalls along Hanoi's bustling boulevards became the birthplace of this dish, evolving through hardship and changing times, from wartime scarcity to peacetime prosperity. With each bowl, pho carried the soul of the city to the farthest corners of the world. For those who find comfort in gentler flavors, pho ga offers a subtle alternative. Replace the deep richness of beef broth with the fragrant essence of chicken, simmered alongside onions, ginger, and a bouquet of spices. The broth is lighter, almost translucent, yet possesses a grace all its own. Slices of poached chicken rest atop the noodles, occasionally accompanied by shredded lime leaves or fried shallot for a hint of complexity. Pho ga is not merely a cousin of its beefy counterpart. It is a morning favorite on soft, foggy days, a bowl to start the day gently. Eating pho in Hanoi is an experience in itself, shaped as much by ritual as by recipe. Locals gather at dawn or dusk, perching on low plastic stools set along tree-lined sidewalks or narrow alleys. To eat pho like a true Hanoian, begin by tasting the broth alone, a measure of the cook's skill. Then add leaves of Thai basil, sawtooth coriander, and fresh sprouts from trays held by the vendor. A squeeze of lime brightens the flavors. Thinly sliced red chili or a spoonful of chili sauce brings gentle heat. Those wanting the full experience dip ki, a crispy golden stick of fried dough, into the steaming soup, allowing it to absorb the flavors before disappearing in 1 or 2 bites. Hanoi's devotion to noodles doesn't start or end with pho. To wander its streets at midday is to be enticed by the smoky aroma of Bun Cha, one of the city's proudest culinary traditions. Bun Cha is a dish alive with contrast. Caramelized pork patties and thin slices of pork belly, marinated in garlic, shallot, honey, and fish sauce, grilled over glowing charcoal until blistered and smoky. These morsels are served alongside soft vermicelli rice noodles, a bouquet of fresh herbs, and a dipping sauce made from fish sauce, rice vinegar, sugar, and lime. Bun Cha's origins are intimately tied to the city, a creation said to have originated in the labyrinthine streets of Hanoi's Old Quarter. Yet, it was catapulted to international stardom in 2016, when former U.S. President Barack Obama joined the late chef Anthony Bourdain for a humble meal at a local eatery, their low stools and easy camaraderie broadcast across the world. Suddenly the world clamored to experience the magic of Bun Cha, the smoky sweetness of grilled pork, the coolness of mint and lettuce, the interplay of sweet, sour, and savory in every bite. Eating Bun Cha is an act of assembly. Each mouthful is self-composed. A small ball of soft vermicelli, a fold of grilled pork, a shower of herbs, perhaps a pickled carrot or green papaya for crunch, all bathed in a spoonful of dipping sauce. There are no rules, only the reassurance of shared tables, laughter, and the gentle hum of scooter engines passing by. No survey of Hanoi's culinary treasures is complete without Banh Cuon, delicate steamed rice rolls whose appearance belies their deeply satisfying flavors. To the uninitiated, Banh Cuon might look simple. Thin, translucent sheets of rice batter stretched across a cloth drum over simmering water, then gently filled with a savory combination of minced pork, earthy wood ear mushrooms, and diced shallots. The rice sheet is carefully rolled and layered, warm and just a little sticky. Making Banh Cuon is a practiced art. The batter must be poured with a steady hand, the sheet lifted deftly with a bamboo stick, and the filling distributed with care. Each roll is plated with slices of cha lua, Vietnamese pork sausage, and topped with crisp fried shallots and a sprig of cilantro. The dish is served with a dipping sauce of nuoc mam, fish sauce enlivened by lime, chili, and sometimes pickled garlic. Many of Hanoi's finest Banh Cuon shops are humble affairs, family-run establishments where recipes have passed from grandmother to mother to daughter, unaltered for decades. Early morning crowds gather outside, patiently awaiting a table or a plastic stool, eager for the first bite. In these places, travelers discover what locals have always known, that greatness is found in the quiet mastery of tradition. For an entirely different flavor experience, dig into Cha Ka La Vong, a dish so iconic it lends its name to a street. Cha Ka is a theatrical affair. Cubes of firm white fish, often snakehead or catfish, marinated in turmeric, galangal, and shrimp paste, are brought to the table atop a portable stove. There, they are fried in bubbling oil, joined by handfuls of fresh dill and spring onions whose fragrance perfumes the air. Eating cha ka is a participatory experience. Diners are given bowls of cold rice vermicelli, scallions, roasted peanuts, and coriander. The sizzling fish is lifted straight from the pan atop a mound of noodles, liberally sprinkled with herbs, then dressed with a tart garlic fish sauce and a squeeze of lime. Every bite is at once hot and cool, savory and sweet, electric with the aroma of charred herbs and spice. Cha Ka La Vong is beloved not just for its flavors, but for its sense of occasion. Locals and visitors alike relish the chance to cook and eat at their own pace, laughing and sharing stories as they take turns tending the pan. It is little wonder that this meal leaves such an impression, unique, interactive, and impossible to forget. Of course, no culinary exploration of Hanoi is complete without mention of banh mi, the Vietnamese sandwich whose fame now rivals that of pho. While the southern cities are often associated with banh mi vendors on every street corner, Hanoi lays claim to its own distinctive version of this beloved staple. Here, the baguette, crispier and airier than its cousins down south, is filled with local cold cuts such as gio lua, pork roll, head cheese, or roasted pork belly, then layered with tangy pickled carrots, daikon, cucumber, chilies, and lashings of creamy pate. What sets Banh Mi Hanoi apart is its restraint and precision. Fewer ingredients, each carefully balanced, allowing the bread itself to shine. The crispy exterior shatters beneath each bite, giving way to the savory richness of pate and meats, offset by bright, vinegary vegetables. In the early morning and late afternoon, office workers, students, and families gather outside modest banh mi carts, eager to grab a sandwich wrapped in paper for breakfast or a quick lunch. Each of these dishes represents not only the flavors of Hanoi, but the spirit of a city that values connection between neighbors, vendors, and generations. The dining experience in Hanoi celebrates casual togetherness. Instead of white tablecloths and muttered politeness, there are tiny plastic stools, metal tables beneath striped awnings, the clatter of chopsticks, and the open invitation to join a stranger's table. And at the heart of every meal is the freshest possible produce. Herbs plucked from the countryside that morning, noodles made hourly, meats and fish delivered before dawn. Hanoians are fiercely proud of their ingredients, sourcing them from trusted markets and purveyors. This insistence on freshness infuses every bowl and plate, from the clear, restorative broth of pho to the firm bite of rice noodles in Bun Cha and the whisper-thin crepes of Banh Cuon. Eating in Hanoi is a celebration of all senses. The sizzle of meat on charcoal, the perfumed steam rising from a freshly simmered broth, the explosion of flavor as herbs, lime, and chili meld with smoky grilled pork, the contrast of cool, crisp vegetables with unctuous pate in a perfect banh mi. For travelers, sharing a meal in Hanoi is a way to immerse in the culture, a chance to understand the rhythm of the city through its food. To eat here is not just about filling the stomach, but about engaging with a way of living that prizes ingenuity, sustainability, and joy. Each bite is packed with history: French colonial influence in the crisp baguettes, Chinese techniques in the rotund cha lua, Southeast Asian roots in the pungent fish sauce. Seek out the places locals love most, the hidden alleys fragrant with grilling meat, the old houses where Banh Cuon has been poured for generations, the bustling intersections where vendors sling pho at first light. Listen to the stories shared over bowls of noodles and plates of herbs, tales of perseverance and pride, of recipes guarded fiercely and passed on with love. By exploring Hanoi through its iconic dishes, you take part in something greater than yourself, a tradition of hospitality, resourcefulness, and reverence for the table. Whether savoring the subtlety of chicken pho, the boldness of grilled pork, or the gentle chew of steaming rice rolls, you are tasting generations of wisdom, of adaptation, of celebration of the land and its bounty. The taste of Hanoi's tradition remains long after the meal is done. It lingers on your tongue, in your memory, and in the indelible sense of connection that is formed when food is shared, not just as sustenance, but as an invitation. An invitation to slow down, to delight in small comforts, and to understand that in this city of lakes and boulevards, food is always more than food. It is a story, a celebration, an embrace. So pull up a stool, hold your chopsticks steady, and prepare to be enchanted. The flavors of Hanoi await, a testament to the power of tradition, adaptability, and above all the joy that comes from eating well together. From the moment dawn stretches over Hanoi's ancient rooftops, the city hums with the anticipation of a new day. In the heart of the old quarter, the symphony of motorbike horns and the gentle patter of feet echo through narrow alleyways. Here, at each intersection and tucked beside bustling storefronts, a world of aromas rises from corner stalls, a universe of flavors and stories shaped by centuries of tradition and the daily lives of Hanoians. To understand the real Hanoi is not merely to wander its streets, but to taste them, to seek out the hidden gems and embrace the vibrant culture etched into every bite of its street food. Begin your morning as countless locals do, with a humble, satisfying serving of xoi, or sticky rice. Though often considered a simple breakfast, xoi is truly a canvas for creativity and heritage. Sometimes it arrives as xoi seo, a golden mound tinged with turmeric, dotted with crispy fried shallots and soft mung bean paste. The grains are moist, yet perfectly separated, creating a texture that snaps and yields in each mouthful. Or perhaps you'll be tempted by xoi ga, topped with shreds of savory poached chicken, a drizzle of soy sauce, and the gentle crunch of pickled vegetables. This hearty meal, compact and warming, fits neatly in a banana leaf parcel or a simple plastic bag for eating on the move. Whether you're a construction worker fueling up, a white-collar professional hurrying to the office, or a schoolchild clinging to a parent's hand, xoi is a morning ritual, its variations as diverse as the people who savor it. The magic of Hanoi's breakfast culture thrives in its urgency and accessibility. For Hanoians, meals must be quick, nourishing, and within arm's reach. Food is more than sustenance. It's an anchor in an ever-shifting, rapidly modernizing city. There's no need for opulent dining rooms or course-by-course luxury. Instead, flavor is dished out from makeshift food stalls, modest storefronts, or even directly from baskets balanced across the shoulders of nimble street vendors. In fact, some of Hanoi's best cooks are these women, matriarchs and entrepreneurs, often overlooked by the glossy travel brochures. At dawn, you'll witness their silhouettes gliding gracefully, balancing bamboo poles across their backs, each end weighed down by steaming pots and fragrant bundles. They set up wherever hunger gathers, on busy street corners, beside construction sites, under the shade of ancient banyan trees, or near the city's bustling wet markets. For the uninitiated, it's these women who hold the essence of Hanoi's culinary identity. Their recipes are inherited and perfected over lifetimes, homemade dishes that echo centuries of resilience and adaptation. Transaction here isn't just about food, it's a greeting, a moment of recognition, a nod to shared routines. With every exchange, a bowl of xoi, a plate of fried treats, a bag of sliced fruit, comes a piece of Hanoi's soul. As busy mornings give way to the gentle warmth of mid-morning, the city's sweet tooth emerges. Trace the crowds to stalls serving Che, the beloved Vietnamese sweet soup, whose rainbow hues beckon from glass jars and coolers. Che is more than a dessert. It's an invitation to slow down, reconnect, and indulge in nostalgia. There's Che Ba Mao, literally, three-color Che, layered with green pandan jelly, yellow mung bean paste, and rich red beans, all swimming in a swirl of coconut milk and crushed ice. Or perhaps Che Do Den, a simple earthy blend of black beans, sweetened with palm sugar, smooth and comforting. The options seem endless: lotus seeds, tapioca pearls, taro, corn, even durian. Each spoonful is a gentle rush of textures, from chewy to creamy to lightly crisp, as cooling as it is soothing under the midday sun. For many locals, a bowl of Che evokes memories of childhood. The clatter of spoons at a street-side table, laughter shared among friends or with a beloved grandmother. The act of savoring Che is itself a communal indulgence, passed between neighbors, generations, and now, the curious traveler willing to linger and taste. But perhaps no discussion of Hanoi's edible treasures would be complete without mentioning one of its most famous, inventive delights: egg coffee, or café trung. At first glance, this creamy concoction may sound peculiar. Yet to those who've sipped it on a Hanoi sidewalk, it's nothing short of revelation. A rich, velvety blend of strong, Robusta coffee and whipped egg yolk, finished with a hint of sweetened condensed milk. The result is a frothy, custard-like cloud at the top, giving way to intense coffee below. Each sip feels both decadent and comforting, the warmth slipping into your veins and melting away morning fatigue. Egg coffee's origins date to the 1940s, amid the shortages of French-occupied Hanoi. Milk was scarce, so Nguyen Van Giang, a resourceful bartender at the historic Sofitel Metropole Hotel, whisked together egg yolks, sugar, and coffee. The invention took hold, and he eventually opened Café Giang, a family-run institution now regarded as the birthplace of café trung. To this day, the recipe remains a closely guarded secret, and each cup is a link to Hanoi's turbulent, inventive past. Coffee in Hanoi is more than a beverage. It's a ritual, a pause, a chance to savor life's pleasures in the company of friends or while gazing at the city's serene lakes. Vintage cafes, with their yellowed walls and wrought iron balconies, offer a window into another era. Just as often, you'll find Hanoians perched on low stools along the edge of Hoan Kiem Lake, or lost in conversation at a rooftop terrace, a cup balanced between their hands. Whether black or with condensed milk, iced or hot, with or without the signature frothy egg, coffee is the golden thread linking strangers, poets, business people, and lovers alike. Hunger inevitably leads to Hanoi's iconic snacks, none more beloved or universally craved than nem ran, better known as fried spring rolls. Here, crisp golden wrappers encase a fragrant filling of minced pork, translucent glass noodles, wood ear mushrooms, carrots, and spices. Served fresh from the bubbling fryer, each bite delivers a satisfying crunch that gives way to steaming, savory filling. Nem ran is as cherished at family gatherings as it is among friends at a street stall, dipped into a bowl of nuoc sham, Just sweet enough fish sauce, laced with chili and lime. When lunchtime calls, follow the crowds to stalls specializing in Bun Cha, a glowing example of northern Vietnamese ingenuity. This crab noodle soup is more than the sum of its parts. Delicate rice vermicelli in a light yet tangy tomato broth, generous chunks of fried tofu, flakes of crab mingling with scrambled egg, and a bouquet of fresh herbs, perilla, cilantro, green onion, piled high on top. The flavors strike a rare balance: sweet crab meat, tart tomatoes, creamy egg, the subtle brininess of fermented shrimp paste, all tethered by the herbal zest of fresh greens. Each bowl is an experience in harmony, a showcase for the Vietnamese ideal, that every dish resonates with balance, not just between ingredients, but between taste, texture, and temperature. One tastes sweet, sour, salty, spicy, and umami all at once. A spoonful of sharply pickled green papaya cuts through rich broth. A hint of chili awakens the palate. The cooling herbs round out every mouthful. It is a meal to be savored, but also, as with so many Vietnamese dishes, a foundation for connection. In Hanoi, eating is not a solitary pastime, but an act of communion. The city's tables, whether plastic risers on a sidewalk or wooden benches in an airy courtyard, are gathering grounds. Friends reunite, families debate and laugh, colleagues trade stories, all over simple bowls and plates shared family style. The meal itself is central, yet secondary to the bonds forged between bites. In Vietnamese, the word for eat, an, is frequently paired with together, kung nhau, underscoring food's role as the language of belonging. Yet even as traditions persist, Hanoi's street food scene is refreshingly inclusive. For vegetarians and vegans, once a rarity, options now flourish like wild herbs after rain. Travelers might seek out a bowl of pho che, a vegetarian version of Vietnam's famous noodle soup, its broth made from charred vegetables and fragrant spices, topped with tofu and mushrooms rather than beef. Or they might try vegan Bun Cha, where grilled tofu stands in for pork, served with rice noodles and zesty dipping sauce. Buddhist principles influence much of this vegetarian cuisine, which prizes freshness, ingenuity, and balance above all. To truly experience the city, visitors are encouraged to seek the restaurants and food stalls where local people eat. Forget the glossy, Instagram-ready venues emblazoned across travel guides. Instead, follow the lunchtime crowds to unassuming carts and kitchens buried behind steel shutters. If you see queues, housewives on their lunch break, students chattering over school books, office clerks in rolled-up sleeves, chances are you're in the right place. These are the city's culinary guardians, stalls often specializing in a single dish, honed to perfection through decades, maybe generations, of serving up food that comforts, nourishes, and delights. Navigating this vibrant world is refreshingly affordable. Most street food items, from breakfast XOI and sweet che to banh mi sandwiches bursting with pickled vegetables and slices of pork, range from just $1 to $3 per portion. For the committed gourmand, this means Hanoi is paradise, a place where you can feast until satisfied, then return for dinner and taste something entirely new, all without breaking the bank. Savoring the city's edible riches is less about budget and more about curiosity, adventure, and openness to the unexpected. However, some practical wisdom ensures the memories you make are joyful ones. Food safety in Hanoi, as in any street food haven, takes some awareness. Choose stalls that are clean, bustling, and busy. Lines are your friend, a sign that food is freshly cooked and trusted by locals. Observe the vendors' practices. Are their hands clean? Do they use utensils to handle food, wear gloves, or keep their area tidy? Hot cooked dishes are generally safe, but if you're uneasy about raw salads or herbs, skip them or choose items prepared in front of you. When in doubt, trust your senses and stick with the stalls where you see locals returning again and again. Their heartbeat is the truest measure of quality and safety.
At the end of your street food journey, your memories will stretch far beyond flavor. It's the medley of sounds, the clang of metal ladles, the sizzle of oil, the chatter of strangers. It's the tactile comfort of a bowl warming your hands on a chilly morning, the smoky scent curling from a charcoal grill, the laughter shared across a modest table pressed into a busy alley. It's learning that food is language, that every dish is a conversation, every cue a testament to trust, every meal an invitation to belong. Hanoi's street food is more than just a meal. It's an unraveling of history beneath your feet, a tapestry of lives lived and dreams pursued through recipes passed down in whispers and measured with a parent's practiced instinct. It's the realization that happiness can be found on the back of a motorbike, in the swirl of egg and coffee drifting upward from a chipped ceramic cup, among strangers turned friends balancing low on plastic stools as the world spins by. So bring your hunger, for adventure, for connection, for discovery, and find yourself lost and found in Hanoi's endless parade of street eats. Each taste is a keepsake, each encounter a brush with the soul of a city that welcomes you, plate by plate, bowl by bowl, into its heart. In Hanoi, a good meal is never just a meal. It is a memory, savory or sweet, destined to linger with you long after you leave the city's dreaming streets behind.